According to Lutkevich, drones refer to an unmanned vehicle that is remotely controlled or that autonomously fly using software-controlled flight plans in its embedded systems. They work in conjunction with onboard sensors and a global positioning system. So drones' primary use in the military sector is now long gone. In fact, they are becoming more accessible to purchase and are currently adopted by numerous companies in different fields to improve their performances. As in other industries, drones are expected to bring the significant benefits to the food and delivery service sector. So our aim was to study consumers' acceptance of drone delivery in this specific industry. To do so, we enhanced the technology acceptance model of Davis et al. And the unified theory of acceptance and use of technology of Venkatesh et al., which have been further adapted to the context of the drone food delivery service.
So let's see for the importance of the marketing of drone. Drone delivery are very important and efficient in many fields. For example, in the marketing, visual and construction, firefighting, conservative effort, agriculture, and delivery. However, drone delivery service can be reduced the loss of the life. For example, in Australia, the rescue drone dropped the flotation device to save the boy in the sea. And in Korea, there are 1,500 people injured and 30 people killed by cause of delivery food per year. So the delivery are very important to save the life.
So now I'm going to focus on the importance of drone food delivery. So there are significant benefits in the drone food delivery services. First of all, it's a quicker delivery and less effort than other type of delivery. There is no interaction with the human, so it's interesting with the pandemic situation. It's also an ecological way to deliver food. We will talk about that later. And there is no traffic issue, of course, because the drone flies. So we saw some example of successful results. So for example, Domino's Pizza, they delivered pizza at a 32-kilometer distance in less than 5 minutes in New Zealand. So it was very efficient. And also El Pollo Loco and Costa Coffee adopted drone delivery services, and it works very well and it brings in customers. So the giant Uber Eats is planning to use this technology to deliver food to its consumer in the near future. And also Yogiyo, one of the most well-known food delivery company in Korea, already succeed in this field. So now we are going to talk about our conceptual model and hypothesis. So we decided to use the UTI-UT model because we thought it was more efficient for the drone delivery service. So first of all, for the social influence, it's defined as the degree to which an individual perceives important others' opinion towards the use of the new technology. So previous studies show that social influence impacts positively behavioral intention of drone food delivery. In fact, customers are more likely to use drone delivery if their use is well perceived by the other. So we make the following hypothesis that social influence due to the use of drone delivery has a positive impact on its behavioral intention. Now, for the performance expectancy, it's defined as the degree to which an individual believes that using the technology will help him to improve personal performance. And previous studies show that performance expectancy is one of the most direct impacts on behavioral intention. So consumers are expecting drone delivery to be more flexible, but also faster. The higher the perception that the technology will be helpful, the higher the intention to use this. So we made the hypothesis that a high performance expectancy of drone delivery has a positive impact on its behavioral intention. Then for the effort expectancy, we define it as the degree of ease associated with the use of a particular technology. One of the issues with the delivery drone is that there is a lack of information about the service, so the consumer needs time to learn how to use it. So the easiest it is to use, the higher is, of course, the positive experience. That's why we made the following hypothesis. A high effort expectancy has a positive impact on its behavioral intention toward drone delivery technology. So now we are going to focus on the factor that we decided to add to the model. First of all, for the environment, it's like using a technology without compromising the health of the ecosystems. So previous research showed that drones has a good impact on environment because it relies on clean energy and it operated by electricity, unlike the current method of food delivery services that are based on gasoline-powered vehicles. So the consumer will have a positive attitude towards using the delivery drone, and it will impact its well-being of usage. That's why we made the hypothesis a high environmental value of drone delivery create a positive impact on its well-being of usage.
So concerning our next hypothesis, which is a high perceived fear of drone delivery as a negative impact on well-being, it's because fear can make consumers feel nervous about using delivery drones because of the possibility of the product to malfunction or maybe to not perform as it was designed. Therefore, it can fail in delivering the desired benefits. So potential risk as crashing could slow down the consumer to use this technology. And it's likely that perceived fear would negatively impact the well-being of drone delivery users. The next hypothesis is about privacy concern. So a low privacy concern for drone delivery has a positive impact on its well-being. So privacy concerns are defined as a perceived threat to our individual privacy because of the increasing power of new technology to collect vast amounts of information about us. So basically, customer could be scared of spying, surveillance, or even wrong data collection and use. Especially when there are no rules about drone use. However, consumers sometimes accept new technology, even if they have privacy concern, as they did with smartphone and tracking, if it brings them well-being. So that's why with a low privacy concern, they could enjoy the technology and have a positive well-being. For the last hypothesis, well-being positively impacts behavioral intention to use drone delivery. So well-being is not from the UTI-UT model, but when using a new technology, consumers are not only thinking for performance, but also for positive emotion and hedonism, such as enjoyment, which is the aspect of well-being. So it's described as the degree to which consumers perceive experience in positive ways through cognitive judgment and affective reaction. And there are several dimensions included in well-being, such as physical and mental health, that impacts life satisfaction by influencing emotion and moods. So as well-being comes often from positive experience, this factor is a predictor of attitude and behavior, such as intention to use. So the higher it is, the higher the intention to use.
So to test this model, we conducted an online survey in France. The sample was composed of 586 people with approximately 57% of women and 43% of men, the median age being 25 years old. To elaborate our survey, we used all our measurement scales based on and adapted from the literature.
You can see that all our hypotheses are supported except the one concerning the relationship of privacy concern on well-being. We know that because the significance is above 0.001. We can also observe that the strongest relationships are between performance expectancy and behavioral intention of use, but also between perceived environment benefits and well-being. To finish, the relationship between perceived fear and well-being is the only negative one.
Here we can see that two mediations are significant. The perceived environmental benefits has a positive indirect impact on the well-being through the on the behavior intention, through the well-being construct. And the perceived fear has a negative indirect impact on the well-being through the well-being construct too. We can conclude that because their confidence interval of 95% do not include 0. So here is our final research model, where we can see that 66% of the behavior intentions towards drone food deliveries is explained, and that well-being is explained also by 31%. And we deleted the privacy consent construct because, as Clea said previously, it has no impact on the well-being of users.
So concerning the theoretical implication, as we mentioned earlier, every hypothesis is supported except privacy concern. So most of our connection have already been shown in previous literature. Sometimes the connection was not on the same factor, as environmental benefit, fear, and privacy concern are linked to intention to use, usually instead of well-being that we choose, as it's a new factor in drone delivery research. The only surprising connection is for privacy concerns, as some literature found a negative impact on intention to use, and we just found no impact. But mainly our connection have already been discussed and supported in previous literature.
So about the managerial implication, so first the study found the positive impact that performance expectancy has on behavioral intention to use. So compared to traditional delivery services, drones do not face congestion because they do not use roads, so they are faster. And they are also very useful because they can deliver places which are very difficult to access. Second, the data showed that environmental value impacts positively the well-being of consumers when they are using the drone delivery services. Indeed, drones are less polluting than traditional delivery methods. Then managers should take that into consideration and use it in their advertisement campaign because more friendly alternatives increase the well-being of the consumers. Third, social influence impacts positively the behavioral intention to use drones. So therefore, it will be interesting to build a green and responsible image for the company. Indeed, it has been shown that delivery man is a very dangerous job. They face aggression and road accidents, and that can also lead to death. So the use of drones might decrease these incidents because there will be less delivery by traditional methods. And companies should then accentuate the social impact as making the users different for the other consumers, and therefore they will be more willing to use this new technology service. And finally, managers must be really careful about perceived fear because it is the only negative component on the model and it acts on well-being. So manager could minimize this impact of fear by showing small videos to the users which will explain how this technology works. And they will also have to insist on the safety of the drones, and it might then change the impact of perceived fear on their well-being.
Then let's see for the research limitation. The respondents are mainly, the first thing is a sample size. The respondents are mainly from the regular people who are not technology professionals. So they may be unfamiliar with the food delivery service by drone, as well as the survey taken only in France in the small sample size. Accordingly, it may not represent the result for other nations, which may have a different habit food of delivery and different technology acceptance result from the culture behavior. So sample size may be not perfectly represent opinion of the respondents. Scope of discussion is drone delivery is very new technology. There are not a lot of the previous research, so the researcher may be lack of experience of drone delivery before. Then let's see the future research. The future research. Study deeper and more variable ensemble moderator such as age, gender, or understand the difference of the sample profile, as well as study the people come from different countries such as Asian country, culture, place, and the result may different. And moreover, study in the new feature of the drone delivery as a time developed of technology may have a new technology in the future. Thank you very much for your attention.